Bonjour and comment allez-vous? Je vais très bien. Welcome to We Talk. Hey, it's great to see all of you in here tonight, and it's early. All right? Well, we got a doozy for you. And I'm going to give you time to go ahead and invite all your friends, your significant others, and everybody, because they're going to want to hear this one, all right? But in usual fashion, y'all know what we do. We have to toast up because we want to salute everybody on the live. Hey, what's up, Frederick? Hey, Jose, how are you? Hey, everybody on the live. Jordan, how are you? Listen, we're going to talk about something very interesting tonight. But first of all, let's toast up and salute everybody on the live because we love you. We know that you could have been anywhere else, but you're here with us. So we thank you so much for that. And here's to everybody on the live. Now listen, last week we talked about gentle parenting versus authoritarian parenting. Now that was a very that was a very good conversation. And of course, you know, we've got our educator, Miss O'Neill, who's in the educational space. So she's with the children all the time. So she gave us some good advice on how we should handle our parenting. And we were specifically talking about teens and young adults. You know, small children you don't have to worry about too much because they're going to do what you say and they depend on you totally. But what about when they get to them 16, 17, 18, and 19 and they get one piece of hair on their chest or they start sprouting out a little bit, getting their figures, and they start feeling themselves, right? How do we deal with those? But you can check it out on my Facebook, of course. And it's going to be insightful to you. Now, we're going to be talking about emotional hang-ups tonight. Emotional hang-ups. I don't know if y'all deal with people who got these emotions, they think with their emotions. Why do so many people use their emotions to think with versus logic and reasoning? And again, why are they so difficult to talk to? Now, I know that everybody on this live has dealt with people who are difficult and they are very, very emotional when you start talking to them. We're going to explore why people think with their emotions, and we're going to come up with solutions as to how we can make that conversation a little bit more rewarding and get some understanding. All right? Hey, Via. Hey, CC. MC Lightfoot, how are you? All right. Bomb Ben, how are you? All right, let me see, can I find my co-host on here so we can get it started? All right. But yeah, we hope y'all had a great week so far because we're living in some terrible times right about now, man. But, you know, keep the faith. You're going to get through it. Trust me. You're going to get through it. All right, Miss O'Neill, I tried to get you on. Let me see his keep. Man, there's so many people in here. All right, I'm going to try one more time, Miss O'Neill. You might need to go out and come back in. All right, it says that the invitation has been sent. But listen, I had a conversation today with one of my good friends. As a matter of fact, it was Keith. That's why I was hoping he was already on here. But anyway, and we had a very, very good discussion. We were talking about why people don't like you when you haven't done anything to them. Why do people not like you when you haven't done anything to them? And the main takeaway of that conversation was this. We have to understand that when you are one of those people, hey, Miss O'Neill, you made it.
Yeah, we have technical difficulties over here.
Yeah, well,
So
okay.
You can get us some more.
Well, you're here. well, you're here now. But anyway, as I was saying, so we were talking about why people don't like you when you haven't done anything to them. This was my advice and my discussion. Just because people don't like you, it doesn't take away or distract from who you are or the goodness that's in you. When you are a peaceful person, now listen, people see when you are peaceful and when you're happy. And what I told Keith was this: when you bring that peace to a chaotic situation, you're disturbing their demons. And that's the reason they don't like you, because you disturb their demons. Your peace cannot coexist in a place where there's turmoil and confusion and drama and all of that. So if you're in that environment, they're not going to like you because they see that you're happy. Now, some people want the best for everybody. There are some people who just hate just because they're hateful. But we're talking about the moral majority of people. If we do a survey, I guarantee you, there are more people than not that don't like you being peaceful and happy, and they aren't. It's a reflection on them and how they feel about themselves. Miss O'Neill, are you in now or what?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay. No, you know how sometimes, honey, I got a added baby now. I done started all over. I'm like, I'm on the line.
Oh yeah, I get it.
So I had to cut my camera off.
Okay, not a problem.
So how y'all been?
We good.
Oh yeah, but you know that's true. People like when you get to start.
Yeah,
that's demons. They want to see you rattled and stuff like that.
Yeah, you chopping up real bad. I don't know if you need to.
It's my internet. I don't know why.
Okay.
All
right.
Let me go back out.
All right. Huh?
See. My chop.
Yeah, you still chopping up for some reason. I can hear you, but it sounds static, like static's in your line or something. And now you froze.
Okay.
So just go out and come back in. All right. And let me see if Keith is going to be here.
Okay.
Keith, if you're here, there are too many people, so I can't see. You might have to send me a request so I can patch you in. All right. But anyway, let's get it popping, because this right here, I want you to invite all your friends and hey, go ahead and like, share, and do whatever you do in the internet world to get people's attention, because they're gonna want to hear what we are discussing right now. Hey, official AR signing, how good to see you again. All right. So listen, we're talking about emotional hangups and why so many people are emotional with their thinking and why they're so difficult to talk to. Now, I'm going to give you the nuts and bolts and all the information that you're going to need to understand. Hey, Lisa, how are you? Hey, Miss Lisa, Pascal, how you doing? Hey, it's so great to see all of you. And when we say we love you and we're happy that you're here, we know you could have been anywhere else. What's up, Keith?
Yo, what's up, Mr. G?
All right. Hey, I was just telling our viewers about that conversation we had today about why people don't like you.
Oh, man. Oh, man. Yo.
Hey. And for the people on the live, we have some very good grown people conversations in our personal lives as well, because we always striving to be better.
Yeah. For those who don't know, Mr. G is my mentor. That's my big homie. We talk about life. We talk about everything. And yeah, that I still haven't. The crazy thing is, for all the people on live and you, Mr. G, I still haven't processed everything you said because the way we talked, it went and it happened, and I'm moving around and doing stuff. That's why man, when I get a chance to actually unload this later tonight into tomorrow and start like when you said your peace and your happiness upsets their demons.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't even know what else you can say from that. Like that's so multifaceted when you think of it, and that's supernatural. That's subconscious. That's not even conscious. That man, yo, that man.
That's the reason, it took me a while to figure that out because, we as people, as good humans and good, kind-hearted people, we want to be understood. We want people to understand why we behave or why we act a certain way. But I'm here to tell you, everybody ain't gonna get you. It's point blank, period. Everybody is not gonna get you. So if you spend your time trying to make everybody like you and trying to please everybody, as I told DeJoy, and I think I told you, you lose yourself. When you start doing things to appease other people, you don't even have your own identity anymore. Because some of the things that you're going to do are going to be outside of your character anyway. All right? And we have to understand all of that when we start trying to appease people and be one of those people pleasers. Listen, even in our lodge, and we've got a grand lodge of female soldiers and even some males, they are very caring and they're very loving. So when you have that type of characteristics and that you exhibit that kind of behavior, some people, as I heard somebody say, they won't prey on you, they will prey on you. So they take advantage of you.
Yep.
So let's get out of the habit of trying to please everybody. The only person and the only thing that we should ever please, number one, is the grand architect of the universe. And then through that, we should please ourselves. And from there on, we please everybody else that we come in contact with. All right?
Yeah, well, Mr. G, here's the other thing. You can't please someone if you don't know what it is that they need. So
Right.
a lot of people out here trying to please people but don't know what it is. So they're guessing. So that's why you're always going to miss the mark. And you think that this is what makes this person or whatever. But if it's your life and what you're doing, why are you worried about what they think anyway? See, even since I was a kid, I never cared about what people thought ever. That's why I never got peer pressured. That's why I never was into certain situations because I ain't care. I'm down to be the only one. I'm the type of guy I can go to the movie by myself. I can go to the restaurant by myself. I can go have drinks by myself and sit there and be cool and meet people there. Like now I'm meeting people there. Get cool with whoever, bartenders, this, that. We talking. So a lot of people are not comfortable, and DeJoy can speak to this too. They're not comfortable in their own skin. You got to be comfortable in your own skin, man. And when you're not looking for that validation, oh man, you fly high. You know what I'm saying? Everybody know. You got to fly like the eagles fly. Yeah. Everybody don't fly as high as the eagle. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Hey, Rodriguez, and hey, Carlotta. Hey, Carla. Hey, how you doing?
Y'all already know I'm comfortable in my own skin.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I'm
Oh yeah.
comfortable.
But see, that's
That's what we were talking about, though, DeJoy. That's the
Yeah.
point we're saying. Exactly. Yes, exactly. And there's a reason that you are.
Listen, but there is always a time when somebody wasn't. There was always a time that I wasn't. And one thing I learned, if I can't be comfortable with me, I can't expect nobody else to. Then I learned everybody ain't gonna accept me. Those that accept me do, and those that don't just don't. Cause I was having this conversation with one of the custodians at my job. I told him, I said, you can't you can't expect people to understand or accept you, because he was saying he felt a little uncomfortable, because he wanted everybody to, have that loving feeling and this and that and the third. And I was like, listen, I ain't got time for that right there. I ain't got time to be trying to beg and borrow and this and that. No, either you love me or you don't. And I told him, I said, you know what a custodian is? If you look it up in the Bible, it's a gatekeeper. Be that. Just be that. Don't be worried about nobody else. You just gotta, be,
Hey, that might
just
have
be
been what it is in the Bible. That ain't what it is now.
you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
What it is in the Bible.
Yeah. Hey, all right, you're breaking up, so I'm gonna just go ahead and take over till you can get yourself planted in a nice place and spot so that we don't have all that crackling going on. Yeah, but I hear what you're saying. Yeah, you gotta be
Let me tell
comfortable.
you
You
something.
gotta be
I'm tired of these experiences.
what? Yeah, you gotta be comfortable in your own skin. Hey, General Crook. Hey,
I'm tired.
Flacco.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hey, Levon, how are you? All right, so listen, let me get into it because I got a lot of material and a lot of information I want to give to people because when we're dealing with these emotional people that have emotional hangups, it defeats the purpose to try to use logic to get them to understand your point of view or your perspective. So emotional hangups, they can describe unresolved feelings, sensitivities. A lot of people who have these emotional hangups, they are very sensitive people. It can describe fears or past experiences that strongly influence how they interpret a conversation. So you're not only dealing with that conversation, you're dealing with people that have unresolved feelings, sensitivities, fears, or past experiences that strongly influence how someone interprets a conversation. So if we know this, then we know what animal we're dealing with. So there's no need to try to win the argument. There's no need to try to prove that you're right. The only need that's necessary is a need to understand them. Now, a lot of people will say, man, I'm tired of being the bigger person. I'm tired of this and that. I'm tired of that. Listen, here's the key to life if you don't know it. The key to life is your own personal relationship with the grand architect of the universe and your personal feelings about yourself. Those two things bring all the peace that you need in your life. So if you're arguing with somebody, your peace is interrupted. If you're trying to prove a point, your peace is interrupted. Anyone that knows me, I'm a very, very laid back guy, and peace means everything to me. I don't like confusion. I don't like misunderstandings. None of that. Part of that comes from my Masonic teaching and also my upbringing. You never resolve anything with a lot of confusion and drama. So we understand now that those people are dealing with unresolved feelings, sensitivities, fears, or past experiences. And it influences how they interpret the conversation. And yes, they can make communication very difficult. That type of individual can make communication very, very difficult. But when we get to this understanding of things, then we know how to deal with these people so that they don't interrupt our peace. Now, just because we don't have emotional issues, doesn't make us any better than anybody else. It's just that we're blessed and we've learned to control it and learn how to be a little bit more reserved before we speak and before we act. Now,
Hey, can I say this one thing?
yeah, go ahead.
The emotional issue part, I think a lot of people misconstrue what that actually means,
Right.
right? It's okay to be emotional and have emotions. We have them too. We're not robots like iRobot or Terminator or something like that. However, when your emotions now become something where you're actually projecting it on someone else because they don't feel the same way or they don't think the same way, or you're upset with them because you might be living a fantasy or delusion and they're saying, no, that's not, the sun is not blue. And you saying it is blue to me. Well, okay, that's how you feel, but that's not right. We're not saying don't have emotions. What we're trying to say is, though, what you feel shouldn't be projected on someone else to the point where they feel like it's like what you say or the highway. So when Mr. G is saying we gauge that now. So now we know that you're someone who we can't tell you that the sun is not blue. So we're going to let you say it's blue, it's purple. We're going to let you say everything you're going to say. But what you don't realize is now you done neutralized yourself now, because what we're doing is appeasing to your emotion instead of being able to be real with you. You understand what I'm saying?
And you're not going to be able to help that individual.
You can't help them. You cannot help them. 100%.
So you're absolutely right. You can't get inside somebody else's head, and when they've got those emotions that they're dealing with, the first thing, what's the phrase that they started using? I think in the 2000s, they need healing. We need to heal. We have to let that process take place. Now that don't mean that we have to abandon them. We just have to know how to communicate effectively with them. Hey, Kansas girl. Hey, Nicole Drake. Hey, Capana, how are you? Monica?
A lot of times when y'all talking about that, it's not that, you're so caught up in your emotions and you don't want to know that you don't want to hear what's right or what's not right. It's just that sometimes when you have tried in the past to express yourself and you have people that don't listen, or people just hear you and don't listen, when you finally get to somebody that does, you don't know how to accept that, or you don't know what it's going to be like if you let yourself go.
Hey, but that's what I just said. That's one of the things that we...
You ain't said like that. Hell, you said it all so we can't understand it.
No. I said that people are dealing with past experiences that influence the way that they interpret that conversation. And I see that all the time. So you got people who you're really trying to help, or you're really trying to get them to understand, but you can't interpret what they hear or how they feel about it. So just like you said, that is absolutely true. They're dealing with emotional scars and emotional things that happened in the past, but those experiences are prohibiting them from having that understanding with someone who tries to help, or someone who tries to understand them. You understand? So I'm not saying that you're wrong. I ain't saying it no different than what you said. Stop talking like I said it's some kind of
farm. With that damn Dr. Fauci shit again. Whatever his name is.
See, that's the problem. See, they go one, that's it right there. That's emotion. Now you're getting all emotional. But anyway, so we have to understand that, and we have to be more considerate to those people. Now, it's difficult because we are used to governing ourselves in a place of superiority. When we have a conversation, our opinion matters. And our opinion, until we learn, our opinion matters more than anybody else in the room. But when we understand what I just described as what those emotional hang-ups are, we give consideration to the individual that we're in conversation with or who we're conversing with. The key is that people don't think with just logic alone. They do use emotions. Your emotions and your reasoning, it works together. Your emotions and your reasoning, or your logic, it works together. But you got to understand this now. So y'all make notes. Hey, go and call your significant others, your spouses, and your children, and everybody. This is what they need to understand. When you're dealing with people who have emotional hang-ups, number one, it shouldn't be criticized. because we're no better than them. Their trauma may have been processed totally different. You can take two people that experience the same thing or the same trauma, and the outcome and the response is going to be different. So it doesn't make us better, it just makes us different. When something touches a person's pride, their identity, their relationships, their fears, or past experiences, emotions can temporarily, get that word, temporarily become more influential than careful reasoning.
So only the people with emotional hangups experience this. So you telling me, since you could say this, you don't have any emotional hangups, or you never dealt with that at all? Because I know y'all
I
finna
did
go.
not say that. I did not say that. Number one, my whole point is to have understanding toward people with them. Everybody has some kind of emotional hang up at one time or another, where our emotions get the best of us. But as a lay person, or a person who is not a doctor or a clinical psychologist or normal person, their emotions don't govern their everyday lives. They don't use their emotions to make every decision in their lives. They understand just what we are trying to tell people. They understand that we use our logic with our emotions. Whenever we allow our emotions to govern our lives, there's an imbalance with the rest of the world, because the rest of the world don't use their emotions solely to govern their lives. Man, I'm telling you, you get people in a conversation, you can have a decent conversation and be just as calm and cool as you want. You strike a nerve with someone and all of a sudden they explode. Where do you think that comes from?
I don't explode.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying what people do in conversation.
They have emotional meltdowns, I call them. It's an
No,
emotional
I take
meltdown.
that back. Now, I'm joking, but I do. I have a lot of emotional meltdowns. I have a lot of emotional hangups and different things like that, and it's hard to get past them. I would have thought in my later or my more mature years I would, but the scars are just there, like seriously, and they hard. I'm not even gonna tell a lie. So I mean, this kind of strike me a little bit, because I have not still been able to get past some of my emotional hangups, because I expect, I mean, it's just, I guess it's just automatic. What do they call, like autopilot? Like when you say something to your mate, I automatically expect,
Some backlash or some
yeah, or some
confrontation.
criticism, like, because if y'all been following us, I ain't soft at all, and I be like, sometimes I be want to say, "Oh, sugar, I love you," and I just want to rub your head or whatever it is you want to say, and I be like, if I do that, he probably look at me like, "What the hell?" I mean, because I'm just not, I want to be that way in my mind. Y'all, I seriously play this out. I be like, oh, when I see him, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, or when I see them, I'm gonna do this and do that, and when I do, I be like, I ain't finna do that shit. They probably won't think something wrong with me, because
See?
I just feel like I can. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Because people don't really expect me to be that way. But I mean, inside and up under the hard shell and the shell that want to knock somebody the heck out with some pans, I mean, I'm really a softie.
Yeah. Hey,
And I won't be.
KNB,
So,
Santana, Rodson. Yeah, hey, listen, we have to understand the only reason that we have these kind of discussions is in hopes that someone will gain something so they can better deal with people in their life. Listen, I've got people that I'm associated with, and I can talk and have a calm conversation in the first 30 seconds. Then if you say the wrong thing, it flips the entire conversation. And people, they stop listening and we're going to discuss that. Let me get on so I can get on to why
But
these
you
things
you
happen.
don't ever like how he talking now, y'all. That's how he always is. Yeah, it's like almost robotic. You and Keith, it's like almost robotic. Like
No,
y'all
it is
don't ever.
not. No, it's
No,
not.
from yes, it is. Y'all don't ever. Y'all seem to not ever have one of those moments where somebody like get your panties in a knot. I mean, or your drawers or your boots or whatever y'all do. I mean, it's crazy.
Yeah,
I mean,
hey, you're talking about our reaction to things.
Yes, thank
That's what
you.
you're
You're talking
talking
about
about.
our reaction to the situation.
Yeah,
Thank you,
yeah.
Mr. G. Go
y'all,
ahead.
y'all, no, y'all don't. Y'all just seem to be just cool as a
Cool,
cucumber or
calm,
whatever they
and
call it.
collected.
Because
Like
we can't
never, never,
control,
ever.
we can't control what other people do. Look, me and Mr. G got a situation going on right
Something
now in a
wrong with
deal.
y'all.
Nah. We got a big deal going on. We
Y'all
got a
need
few
to talk
deals,
about
right?
it.
So check this
Hey,
out. So we got somebody that ain't doing totally, they ain't moving the way they supposed to move right now after we initially did everything. So we got two choices. We can get all caught up in the matrix of choosing the red pill or the blue pill, or like me and him spoke about earlier, last night and the day early, we spoke, you know what? Let's sit back and let it play out. Once it
right.
plays out, we'll determine at a certain point when certain things happen if we need to do certain things, because guess what? When you sow the seeds, the supreme architect don't tell you how he's going to grow it. You don't know how it's going to grow. So guess what? An emotional outbreak in this type of situation, I'm speaking specific to what we're dealing with, could mess up the whole deal. And we
Right.
got multiple millions on the line. I ain't talking about 2, 3, 4, 5. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm talking way
Right.
more than that. So we got choices to make. DeJoya, we understand everything and we see everything. It's all about how you choose to react to it. Because I can tell you this, for me, if I'm not calm, cool, and collected, I can't think straight. I can't operate properly. I'm not effective to the people that I'm teammates with. Been there, done that. So why would I be ineffective? Do you understand what I'm saying? It's all about choosing the reaction. That's
Well, let
all.
me let me say this, Keith. Let me say this. A lot of people, when they meet people who don't get their panties in a wad, don't get upset, they become angry at those people because they don't respond in the way that they are used to.
And
Now, listen,
that's what I'm
listen.
surprised.
No, I'm making a point because you brought it up. Me myself, nah, I don't get. Listen, I've been disciplined for a long, long time. In music, you got to be disciplined. You might want to play a song longer, but you got to cut off, and you got to be disciplined enough to cut that song off. You got to be disciplined enough to know the set list and what to wear. All those things. In the military, you have to be disciplined. So all of these things, and I didn't only need that, I had the basic foundation from how our family was raised with discipline, responsibility, and all those things. So when you say that, like y'all just happy go lucky, it doesn't mean that things don't worry us or things don't get on our nerves. It's how we choose to engage. I would rather, rather than sitting and getting into a pissing contest with somebody, I'd rather walk away. Because remember, the whole purpose of you having conversation is for understanding. So I'm not going to have a conversation where I cannot gain understanding. Whether or not, it don't matter if I'm right, it don't matter if I'm wrong, it's two left shoes. I'm not going to sit there and engage with someone because I know that the understanding is beyond them. It doesn't make me better. It doesn't make me smarter. It makes me more peaceful. Because guess what? When I leave that person, I still got to live with, I got to live with and deal with everybody else in my life. So if I let you upset me and then I carry that home, and I carry that to all the people I love, then it's unfair to them. And number one, because they know my temperament and who I am, it's out of character. So I'm not one to just argue. I always say this. You can do anything and say almost anything, even borderline disrespectful. But don't ever put your hands on it. Because all of that comes out of me. All of those passes I've had to tolerate because of the God in me to say, hey, look, this is not the way. Your purpose is not to argue and win the argument. Your purpose, be the bigger person, is so that people will gain understanding from you and how you live your life. I ain't that again. People start. I done heard people tell me this. Oh, you think you better than something? Oh, you think you? I don't think anything. I live my life, and I live it in peacefulness, and I live it so that I can enjoy life. If you can't enjoy your life, then what is the purpose of living? Because my God, from what I've been taught, we are here to enjoy this life. The only reason it ain't perfect for us because we are imperfect and we made that condition ourselves, not because of him. So if you believe biblically, his plan has not changed. So I seek that. I seek happiness. But let me get off of that. So now I just want to clear that up. No, Miss O'Neill, we ain't y'all just calm, cool, and collect. Yeah, we are.
Y'all just gonna give me my little straight jacket in the padded room with walls, the padded room with the walls, and I'll be all right. Cause baby, I ain't got to that point yet.
I understand that, and a lot of people haven't. And again, it don't make us better.
Yeah, and we're not judging you, anybody. We're not looking at it like that way. We're saying we figured these things out for ourselves. So we try to tell people other stuff. See, here's the other thing that people got to understand. Everybody's life is different. Everybody's profession is different, and everybody has different things that they had to deal with. When you have to deal with certain levels of leadership, you got people reporting to you, you running organizations, you got all different things going on. You can't afford to have certain things happen because the people are looking to you for leadership. So you got to stay even keel no matter what. You got to get mad and whatever. But listen, the only reason that I get mad is because I make my own self mad. There's nothing that anybody else does to me that makes me mad. Because when someone does something, I don't have to get mad. So if I get mad.
Let me clarify that, Keith.
Go ahead.
I believe that's what you mean. Listen, I don't get mad. I'm disappointed in people.
Yes.
That's a difference between me getting angry and being disappointed.
Yeah, good point. That's what I meant. Yep.
I don't have to. Why am I mad at you? You say you're a free being. We have free spirit. We have free will. You say what you want to say. You do what you want to do. Why? As long as you ain't touching me and influence, and the most time, the people that we have in our lives or the people that we run across, they aren't even influential in our lives. So why am I going to get mad at this dude at the grocery store because he came close to stepping on my foot? You understand? I may not never see him again in life. So I can make an impulsive decision and act with my emotions and get gangster and then do some things that might cost me my what? My peace. My peace is the most important thing to me. Not money, not friends, not materialistic things, my peace and my happiness. And you've already attested to it for the people that don't know us, that myself and Keith, we very rarely get emotionally charged.
Y'all just annoying.
What?
Y'all just annoying.
We're annoying. Why? Why is that annoying? Because we figured it out. That's like somebody figuring out how to make $1 million and they made it, and then they tell you about it. You say y'all annoying because I'm telling you how to do it now. That don't make sense. All right, but anyway, so we have to get past that and
Can I say this
understand.
one thing, Mr. G? Can I say
Yeah,
this one
go
thing
ahead.
for you go on? Here's the other thing about us being Mr. G, right? People like us. When we get into that emotional bag, we only share it with each other. We don't tell other people that can't relate. So
Right,
yesterday, me and Mr. G, we had a long conversation. And yesterday I was in my bag.
right. Okay.
Mr. G knows how I get when I'm in my bag. I
Had to
wasn't I
talking
wasn't
off
losing
the
it.
talking off
What'd you
the
say?
cliff. Had to
What'd you say?
talking off the cliff.
Yeah, I was like, hey man, hey Mr. G,
Yeah,
I'm this right now, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? And then when he
right,
gets into his teaching mode where he telling you what's gonna happen before it happened, and everything he said is lined up, you like, see, I thought I didn't brought something. See, now I'm upset now. Now, the whole thing, you know what I mean? But what did I tell you earlier, Mr. G? I slept
right,
on it. I got out
right,
of my bag and I did what I told you I was gonna do in the morning, right?
right,
That's the
right,
difference of what I'm trying to say. We all have those moments, but who do you share that with? Who do you let see you at that moment? That's what
right.
I'm saying.
Nobody.
And the thing is, once you listen, emotional triggers. Once you show people, listen, because everybody don't mean you well. Hey Jay Jones, hey James, hey Candy, Gardy, and them too. Listen, everybody don't mean you well. Now, that's just a fact of life and that's the reality. Even people around you don't mean you well. So when you have those emotional triggers, guess what you're doing? You're giving them ammunition. I know how to trigger you. Whenever I'm not feeling good about myself, or whenever I need a quicker picker upper, I know all I got to do is go tell this person this, and they're going to react. They're going to get bent out of shape. I'm going to get them out their peaceful state, and I'm happy because now I feel better. So when you do that, you give people ammunition. All right. Now, for example, you may say something intending to discuss a fact. You may say something, and all you want to do is discuss that particular fact, nothing else. While you're doing that, the other person hears something completely different. So you thinking that what you're saying is registering with that individual, and it's not. I had to learn that. I'm not the one to say, I'm just right and you just wrong. I try to look for understanding. So I understand what I'm saying. You're not angry at me. It's just not registered. You're interpreting what I'm saying different. So I may say, I disagree with your point. Like we're discussing right now. I disagree with your point. They may hear, you don't respect me. Because you don't agree with me, you don't respect me. That happens more often than not. If you don't agree, people get upset because you feel that you are not respecting them. If you agree, Donald Trump, I love you, right? I'm just using that as an example, right? Or you may mean, here's what actually happened. You might say, no, here's what really happened. They may hear you blaming me. Listen, I'm not the only one that have these conversations, and they aren't wayward conversations. These are general conversations that happen all the time. You can get with your homies and your partners, your significant others, your wives, your husbands, and you can say, no, sweetie, this is what happened. They're like, oh, so now you're on their side. Now you're blaming me. And that's not what you're saying at all. That's not what you're saying. Once it registers and that conversation goes that way, the conversation is over. it really ain't about the original subject no more. Think about it. When people start disagreeing with you or not seeing your point of view or thinking that you're blaming them, it's no longer about the subject at hand. It's more about them now. It's a personal attack, and you don't respect me. They're responding to what the statement means emotionally to them. Hey, Ari, how are you? They are responding to what the statement means to them. Hey, GHKKKLGZ, how are you?
They got all the letters of the damn alphabet.
Got all the
Just
alphabet.
said, hey, alphabet.
But we,
I'm sorry, y'all.
gonna-
I love all y'all though, for real,
we're
but
gonna
dog.
shout you out. IDN meds. Okay. Listen. So understand that. They're not responding to the original question or the original conversation. They're responding because they feel that you've attacked them personally. Some common hang-ups, emotional hang-ups, are defensiveness, insecurity, fear of being wrong. A lot of people have the fear of just being wrong. They have resentment from previous experiences. I think, Ms. O'Neill, that's what you were just talking about.
And I said what I said.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Embarrassment, pride, feeling disrespected, as I just said, and needing to feel heard or validated. This confirmation bias can make it worse.
But why do you think? Now, let me ask you this question. Now, for real, why do you think people, or I don't know if it's mostly a male or female thing, but why do you think validation is so important to people? Why do you think it's so important?
Okay, well, I'm going to tell you this. The reason that validation is important because it has something to do with their self-esteem. It has to do with the way they feel about themselves. Nobody that I know, nobody wants to be misunderstood. So if you have an interpretation of me that's false, I want to correct that falsehood. So for people to be validated is very important because it attacks their identity. It attacks who they are. So that's the reason why. Now, there are probably other clinical reasons too, but that's the main reason. Hey, Casey, how are you? So that confirmation bias can make things worse. When they have, defensiveness for no reason, insecurities, fear of being wrong, resentment from previous experiences. That's past negative, dramatic experiences. Embarrassment, pride, feeling disrespected, and a need to feel heard or validated. You got to remember this. People naturally give more weight to information that supports what they already believe. Think about it. People give more weight naturally to information that supports what they already believe, and they resist information that threatens it. So you can be, you can be right you can be right all day long. But if it threatens the belief that they have, if it threatens that belief, then they're going to resist it. That's also why more facts don't necessarily solve any emotional disagreement. You know how we do. Once we have information and we stack the deck, we know this is true because we've got this evidence, we've got these facts, we've got this information. That does not help your argument. It does not help the conversation at all. Hey, Callie, how are you? So when we look at all of these things, then we understand that people who are emotionally have these hangups is not about what we're trying to persuade them to believe. In their minds, they interpret it as a personal attack, or you don't support them. So
Well, I have to admit, I be on defense a lot, and I'm working on that. I'm working on knowing that when you're having a conversation, especially with your mate or even people you're not familiar with, you don't have to be on the defense all the time. And sometimes it's just good to listen to their side. And, I have to actually sit and fold my hands or sit on my hands to stop myself from feeling like I need to respond or I need to um get excited about something, like you taught us in the lodge, like squeeze your toes together when you speaking to somebody.
oh yeah,
Or
you put you
whatever.
ball your foot up in your
Yeah, ball
toe.
your foot
That's
up in your
yeah,
shoes, when you're speaking to somebody. So actually, when I feel like now that I'm gonna react or explode or blow up or, like get angry or, even get a little ruffled, like I will sit on I know it'd be looking weird to people and they probably be like, what in the hell? But I will sit on I will sit on my hands or I will, whatever to keep from to distract myself from feeling like I have to respond or I have to be on the defense.
Hey, Callie, thank you so much. Callie says she loves this podcast. But listen, I'm just trying to tell you that we have to gauge people differently. If we want peace in our life, we can't go into a situation trying to prove them wrong or trying to be right all the time. Because as I said earlier, we don't know what influences their response or what influences the way they sing, the way they think. So when we're saying something, I gave an example, I disagree with your point. If I say that, and that also has to do with testosterone and heavy voices and light voices, there's a lot of psychological
Your voice
things.
scared me to death.
All right. So I don't mean to. So you might say, I disagree with you, with your point. Very simple. I just disagree with you. They hear you don't support me or you don't respect me. And that's because of their emotional ties to whatever belief system they have or whatever traumatic event that happened in their lives. And we as kids,
Listen, I literally sat there and listened to somebody talk about 15 minutes today. And I just looked at them, y'all. I focused my eyes so they weren't crossed, so they know just who I was looking at because my eyes were looking at them. And I just sat there and looked at them for the 15 minutes that they felt like they were saying what I'm serious. Like, I have to focus because people be like, who you like? I'm looking at you, So look, I sat there and I listened to them for 15 minutes and I didn't say a word. And they say, oh, you ain't got nothing to say? I said, well, you had a whole lot to say, so I was just listening. And I just listened, and I don't know why it pissed them off so bad because I didn't have nothing to say. And I was looking focused, and they knew who I was looking at. And I think that's what made it even worse. Because when people can't tell who I'm looking at, y'all know my eyes be going left and right. They don't get that mad because they feel like I ain't looking at it. But when I fix my eyes together, and they know what I'm looking at.
What did you just say?
Look, cuz, listen, let me tell y'all, let me tell you. Like, when I don't fix my eyes right and they be going everywhere and they can't tell who I'm looking at, they don't feel too bad. But if I just sit there and focus my eyes and just look at them and listen and don't move and don't say nothing, I don't know why it pissed them off so bad. But it just made them mad that I was looking at them and didn't say nothing. And they was like, so you ain't got nothing to say? I was like, absolutely nothing.
I don't understand what that means. That when you
Cause
don't
they
look
want,
at them
listen,
directly,
cause if I'm just not focusing, I'm just letting them talk, and I'm just like, okay, and I'm just going on. But the fact that I just sat there and focused on them and looked at them like that and did not say a word when they said, "Well, do you have anything to say?" I said, "Absolutely not." That made them so mad for
so
whatever
when you
reason.
so when you look at them directly and you focus, that
It,
makes them mad. If your eyes are going all kind of
that
ways,
don't make them mad. That don't make them mad. But when
why you
they be
trying
like,
to make them? You ain't trying to make them mad, are you?
no, I was just because they had a whole lot to say and it was a sign. And I'm just everything. I'm like, okay, that wasn't good enough. So I just sat there and was quiet and I just looked at them like Miss Silly from The Color Purple when she was rocking in that chair with her hands propped up. And they was pissed off at me.
Silly? Silly?
Yeah, Miss Silly. I sat in that, yeah, Miss Silly. I was just sitting there looking at them with my head on my elbows. I was focused. And that just pissed them off.
Well,
And it
some
just
people,
took a me.
some people, their whole goal is to irritate you. So they, you
Well,
know,
you
that
know what
may
I
be
did
why.
after that? I went and got my ginger tea and I sat there and crossed my legs and said, well, this was a good day. That's what I did, y'all.
So that was a win for you, huh?
It wasn't even that serious to me.
Right, right,
I was
right.
like, well, shit, you don't want me to listen to you or you don't. I guess they don't know what they want. Was emotional.
Hey, Inyard or whatever that is, Rosa, how are you? All right, so yeah, I feel your pain, Miss O'Neill, especially with it looking straight at you. They ain't threatening when
Like,
you ain't looking
look, I'm
directly
like, the
at
few times I can get my eyes to be still, you're going to get pissed off. This is a once in a quarter lifetime event. Come on now, focus with me,
you.
Clarice.
Okay, so let's get this term understood. Confirmation bias. A confirmation bias is something that people already believe in. So as I said earlier, they naturally give more weight to the things that they believe in and things that support what they believe in. They resist any information that threatens that belief. All right?
Why wouldn't you want somebody to give you a better perspective on something?
Well,
I mean,
you and I, we are people who have reason, and we have logic. So,
because remember when you had said that word that one time, prosper, and I
right?
was upset about. I mean, why wouldn't you? When you explained it, I was like, let me take a breath. Let me take a breath. But why wouldn't people want you to give them a better perspective or a better way to handle
You
life?
would
I
think that
find,
they would. You would think that all
yeah,
people would, but it's
yeah,
not the
I
case.
find that that's real. That's real. Like in this world today, people don't want something new. They don't want to just truly be happy. They always got to have something going on. If you're too happy, something wrong with you. If you mad,
Well,
something
the
wrong
thing
with
is, I
you.
don't think people don't want to be happy. They don't want to be happy. I refuse to believe that. What I believe is that if they're not as happy as you are, or they are unhappy while you're happy, that causes conflict within themselves. You understand? So I don't believe that they don't want to be happy. I believe that they are unhappy at the time that you are happy. And we'd rather not see you happy and them be unhappy. That's the way life goes. That's the way a lot of people think. But as I said earlier, so facts don't necessarily make the conversation or the emotional disagreement any better. Sometimes presenting additional evidence actually makes a defensive person argue harder. Think about it. That is the truth. When you present more information, the harder they argue because they're holding on to those emotions because they feel that they're losing the argument. a person like that don't want to lose. That's why I'm trying to, it's paramount that we understand it's not necessary for us to win the argument. It's not necessary for us to be right. What's necessary is for us to be peaceful. Don't let people disturb your peace, man. Don't let people get into your life where you got to take it. You get in your car and you speeding off and then run into the curb because you're upset at somebody. It should never get to that point. Hey, Nikki. So we have to understand that. Don't let people disturb your peace. I'd rather have my peace than be right all day long. You can have that. You think you're right? Okay, cool. Because guess what? This is what I know as a thinking person. What's right is going to be right, no matter how many people call it a lie. So I'm not going to argue with you. What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. So they feel that they're losing the argument. Now, here's what we think. We feel that if we give them additional information, that they're learning something. They can kill.
Oh man. Oh my Lord. No, you didn't say that.
Yeah. Hey, but we can think that we teach them something by giving them more
Lord.
information, trying to
Lord.
convince them that they are wrong. So here's
Lord.
the supporting facts. Here's the
Lord.
information that you're missing. No,
Lord.
that ain't helping. They ain't learning that. What they see and how it registers to them, they're losing the argument. And that's the only thing that matters to them, right? A useful communication principle is this. I hope y'all got y'all pens and papers, and you've invited your significant others, and your wives, and your husbands, and your children, all the people you care about.
And
A
you're
useful.
gonna be sleeping on the couch tonight.
Hey, look here, don't y'all go try none of this stuff. Just keep it under your hand. All right. A useful communication principle is don't confuse someone's emotional reaction with the strength of their argument. Just because they're emotional, listen, some people will cower down because somebody gets loud, boisterous, and screaming and all that. People will cower down. This is the lesson for all of you. Don't confuse someone else's emotional reaction with strength of their argument. When people get to crying all hysterically, when people get to shouting all hysterically and loud and boisterous, that doesn't make their argument any stronger. So remember that. Don't confuse someone's emotional reaction with the strength of their argument. You can acknowledge the emotion. You can acknowledge that without agreeing with the conclusion. You can acknowledge, okay, I see that you're upset. That don't mean I got to agree
And look,
with you.
and here I go in that situation. You so damn loud, I can't hear you, and I just walk on off.
What?
I tell them they so loud, I can't hear you, and I just walk on off. I'm not. I don't have the temperament to go there. I will tell you, you need to take it down a notch. I don't hear noise like that. I can't. I can't do that.
All right, but it's very important that we don't confuse their emotional reactions and equate it to the strength of their argument, because it does not change the fact that their logic is misaligned and their facts are missing. So, you can agree with them without agreeing with their conclusions. Something as simple as, I understand why you feel strongly about it. I'm trying to separate. Now, we ain't going to have these kind of conversations, but I'm just giving you the clinical way to deal with it. Hey, Gregory, how are you? Hey, TMD. Hey, Mitch. All right. So I'm just giving you the clinical thing. I understand why you feel so strongly about that. Now, I'll say this to somebody. I'm just trying to separate how we feel about it from what actually happened. I'm separating the facts from fiction. Now, you're emotional about it. It doesn't change the facts. It doesn't change the way I feel. And it doesn't change what the truth is. The only way that you're going to have a productive conversation is to separate those emotions from what is factual and what is true. Otherwise, what do we say? They don't hear the fact that I just disagree with your opinion. They hear you don't support me or you don't respect me solely because I don't agree. And that is crazy. That is crazy. Hey, Sony, Jariah, how are you? So why do people become so angry when they're emotional? And you ever thought about that? Why do they become so angry? And don't tell me that they are passionate. They just, no, that ain't gonna cut it with me. Why do you think people become so angry when they're emotional? You got an opinion, Miss O'Neill?
Now, why you gotta ask me like that?
I'm just asking. You gotta call me and Keith out talking about red like robot.
I just think that that's misplaced anger and misplaced things like that. I think a lot of people don't know how to deal with their anger a lot of times, or don't know how to, separate certain things or get past certain things. I don't know. I can't tell you because I told y'all I be suffering from that same thing. So how you gonna ask me to tell you something?
I think that what happens.
I'm just trying to tell you.
I think that what happens, because some of what we talking about on this live, I'm actually dealing with this actually in real time with some people. I'll just say some people. And when you as a person get to a point where if someone's asking you a question for clarification, I have a saying, I have a lot of sayings. DeJoy are going to make fun of me, but here's the truth, right? I'm not talking about repelling people right now. I'm about to give you something else, okay? I'm about to give you something else. Okay. Clarity creates understanding, which then creates unity. So some people, they get so stuck on whatever it is that they're caught up in that they're not willing to be unified, because it goes into what Mr. G just said. Clarity, what I'm saying, clarity creates understanding, which then creates unity. And one of the first things in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People was one of the 7 habits. Seek first to understand, then be understood. So let me clarify. So if you as a person, whoever you are, say something, you're in an emotional state, you're in whatever state you are. Now, I don't understand what it is that you're trying to say or communicate. So now I'm asking for further clarity. If that further clarity upsets you, makes you think I'm not acknowledging how you feel, whatever, I'm trying to create understanding, because what did I say? My saying, I got to patent this. Clarity creates understanding, which then creates unity. We can't be unified if we don't understand each other.
Absolutely.
So if I'm asking you a question and it upsets you, then where do we go from there? If I'm asking you a question and you take it as a personal attack, why you would take it as a personal attack? I have no idea. When you're the first person that spoke first, I'm trying to understand what you said. Now you mad at me because I'm attacking you, right? Which I'm not. So a lot of people, what it is that they're not looking to be unified. They're not looking to have understanding. They just want to be right. So they saying, this is how I feel. And if you don't agree with how I feel, then you the enemy. It don't matter who you are. It's as simple as that. It doesn't get any deeper than that.
It's not to have conversation or
Yes, it's none of that. They don't want to have conversation.
It's just to win the argument.
Yes. And then when you
That's all
say,
they need. People who don't have a lot going on in their lives and really don't have the understanding of self and who they are, they need something to hold on to. It's just like someone who really is trying to fit in the crowd, and the crowd got, all these accolades and trophies, and they don't have anything. They have to have and create something to hold on to. So that's what I feel in most cases is what happens.
I agree with you, but you know what the worst part is?
What's that?
You're trying to lead and give direction. So why are they trying to hold on to something? You're just saying do A or do B, and then they don't do A or B. And then you come back and say, hey, remember we spoke, you're part of the team. Well, when I said I was going to do A and you was going to do B, now the cipher's complete for this particular phase of the mission. But you didn't do B. Why not? Well, I was then they get all like you asking them, hold on. I'm asking you why you didn't do what you said you was gonna do. I didn't throw it on you. I didn't push it on you. I didn't make you agree to doing that. Now when you don't do it, and I'm asking you why you didn't do it, now we're gonna make that into some type of situation. Why? Because you want to do what you want to do, and you want to control the narrative of whatever the situation is. And you don't want to take accountability for what you didn't do.
Absolutely.
Like I gotta tell y'all this because I know y'all don't believe this on the live, but like we have a certain synergy with one another. He's talking about these 7 habits. I literally carry this in my bag every day.
All know that you do. Cut it out.
I literally carry these 7 habits. It's on a piece of paper in my bag every day, all 7, literally.
That's okay.
Because
we know you unified. You're unified. You're not fighting with us. Right. We good. You know what I'm saying?
But the to pull them out. But I'm just saying, like with this, what we talking about right now, about your emotions and all this kind of stuff. I literally have to post this I literally have that posted on my board because at any time I gotta look up at that, seek to understand, blah blah blah. However it applies in my life with my emotions, with because these don't just these habits don't just apply to in your professional life. Those 7 habits can apply in your emotions and everything.
It applies to everything.
Yeah, literally, I keep that on my board in my purse. I just went and pulled it out when you brought that up. I was like, I can't believe this. I just looked at this today.
That shows you that we got the synergy, and you ain't got to put no disclaimer out. Well, I know some of y'all don't believe it, but yeah, we got the same synergy. Why we got to start it like that? Why you can't just say? Why you can't just say the universe just showed me how on point I am because I looked in my bag and saw that what being talked about now, I looked at it earlier. Why you just can't say that?
You just want me to get your hero cookie,
oh, that's right. You don't want to give us the credit. You don't want to give us no credit. I understand.
I ain't give y'all nothing. Yeah. But yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's true. And points well taken. Hey, Roop. Hey, Millie. But the thing is, we have to understand this. There's a very important distinction when we're talking about people who are controlled by their emotions. There's a very important distinction that we must make. Being emotional isn't the problem. We're all emotional at times. That's why we had this conversation, DeJoya, where you say, hey, don't phase y'all not bothered. No, we're all bothered by certain things, and we're all emotional creatures. That's the way we were created. But being emotional is not the problem. Being unable to recognize when emotions are controlling our reasoning is the problem. Being emotional is not the problem. We're all emotional. The issue is being unable to recognize when our emotions are controlling our logic. Write that down.
But if you've never now, a lot of this is habits that we learn as adults, right? But in a lot of people's homes, I think if you were taught this from early on, it would be a lot easier for you. But a lot of the lessons that we talk about, specifically this one, you don't really learn about that stuff until you're older,
I was
until
never
you
taught this, my friend. I learned this. I was never taught
well,
this.
I never was, it was never bought to me, or maybe it was and it wasn't bought in the right way. It's never been something that I've homed in on. It never was something until, I got my granddaughter recently, and stuff like that, or when my kids go through stuff that I started talking about that. So, I mean, I've incorporated it in my life, and in my home, but there's a lot of people that don't incorporate this kind of stuff in in their daily lives.
Let me
So
say
yeah,
this. Let me say this because this is important. This is personal to me. I've got people in my life, my children, people that I care about dearly, sisters and brothers. Not to say that they all are this way, but when we have information, the people that discredit it first are the people closest to you.
yeah.
That is crazy to me. And I'm of the opinion, okay, if I'm given information that I know works based on my experiences, based on my wisdom, based on my being on the planet for over 6 decades, I want to share it with you because I love you and I want you to do well. Man, I'm telling you, those are the ones who, Dad, you don't know what you're talking about. Dad, you know, you don't give anybody else an opportunity. Yes, I do.
I mean, I wish, and I'm
Just
not saying this,
understand, listen, I'm giving the testimony. Understand that no matter how much you try to help people, you can't help people unless they want to be helped. The rejection, that's why Keith and I, we're cool, calm, and collected.
Somebody say nothing about y'all.
I'm just saying, that's why we can tolerate it. Most people,
Stop being annoying, Mr. G. You annoying right now.
yeah.
That's
But
what
no,
she
but
said earlier.
seriously,
You said you
I
annoying.
Yeah.
but listen, I thank y'all for these lessons because, like I said, like if I had some of these lessons younger, I would where I am now. I'd have been earlier in my life, right? And a
Yeah.
lot of
You
people
can't
don't.
look at it like that, my friend. You
I mean, I
can't.
know, but I'm just saying for
No,
me,
no,
I wish that I had been, and I know that
It may have
sometimes,
made a difference in your life because you could have changed some things or some actions that you've taken. I mean, that's
I mean, I
possible.
know some information and some things you have to be ready for, but I mean, I'm saying from the household that I came from, if had I learned calmness, had I learned, discipline
Right.
in my emotions and self, I would be I would be farther and I would be in a better
you
place.
can't learn that from your house. You can only
You gotta
learn that,
start somewhere.
but
You gotta start right here.
you can only learn it through your experience, my friend.
Well,
Certain things
they
can't
should
be
have gave you
taught.
some in the childhood
That's what I'm trying
experiences
to.
then.
You can tell somebody all day, every day about being emotional or non-emotional or whatever. But when that situation happened and that person that's telling you about that ain't there, that's what determines where it is, right? So I don't think it has to do with.
But what I'm saying, like dealing with my granddaughter, right? So if she's having a blow up or oh, I'm sad, I'm this, I'm that, I can tell her now, like, it ain't that you sad, it's how you dealing with being sad. What are you doing to make yourself happy? What are you doing? Because in when I grew up, it wasn't much talking. If you acted up, you got to pop, whatever. But I'm learning now that okay, you gotta have that discipline sometimes, but if you start pointing out things when it happens in the time that it happens to kids, then they can learn how to. That's all I'm saying. A lot of us.
I agree. I agree with what
That's
you're
what I'm
saying.
saying.
That it could influence the way that you do certain
Right.
I
things.
understand what you're
Right.
saying. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
That's what I'm
So I
saying.
mean,
So
that's possible.
yeah.
That's possible. But listen, so we have to understand that being emotional isn't the problem. It's being unable to recognize the fact that our emotions are controlling our reasoning. All people, everyone, Miss O'Neill, including very intelligent, very calm, and rational people, can fall into that trap. So, why do people become so angry? When some people hear disagreement, their brain does not process it simply as this person just has a different opinion. Their brain does not process that. It doesn't say to them, this person has a different opinion. They experience it as this person is challenging me. If I disagree, think about this. This is the most simple example and the most simple explanation as to why people behave that way. When you disagree, they look at it as though you are challenging them, which is further from the two. Once that happens, the goal shifts from understanding to defending themselves. They're not trying to understand anymore. That's why we can't get to some reconciliation. That's why we can't get to understanding, because they're more, the most important thing to them is defending themselves. Now, I've got my youngest daughter. She listens. And I'm not just saying that because I ain't got nothing else to say. She listens. And she understands a lot that my older children do not understand. And maybe it's because she's been with me and she's seen it and she has that kind of reverence that they don't have. But she listens. Now, if you cannot get anyone to listen to you, I don't care how good your information is, it's ineffective. That's like having the Rolls Royce or the Bentley. If you've got the Rolls Royce or the Bentley and it's in the garage, nobody sees it, does it really mean anything to anybody else but you? All right. We have to start rethinking how we deal with people. And we have to understand that being right or proving them wrong is not the ultimate answer to having a conversation that's meaningful. People become louder because they don't believe they're being understood. How do we feel that shouting is going to give anybody any more understanding? But some people become louder because they don't believe they're being understood. This is what they don't know. When you get louder, it just causes the other person to stop listening.
That's what I said when you said you didn't know what I was saying when I said what I said. You so loud, I can't hear you. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. I get it.
Don't be trying to act like you don't know. You know what I'm talking about. You so loud, I can't hear you.
About.
Y'all hear me?
No, you try to talk about the voice inflection and the way it comes off. That's not what we saying in that case.
No, I'm talking about the way he said in my own words.
Oh, the way he said, oh, my bad. Okay, that's between y'all.
He said what he had said is what I meant when I was saying what I said.
But
Now
this,
go on.
here's the other thing. People need to win. Some people need to win, as I think Keith was talking about it. They don't care anymore about the conversation. They just care about being right or wrong or winning the argument. Once a discussion becomes about winning, people start defending positions rather than examining their own position. They start defending their position. Now, there's another interesting phenomena when we talked about emotional people.
Don't nobody need no psychiatrist. Just tune into our live every Wednesday at 8 p.m. We talk.
Amen.
We got some Jews.
Hey, Ann, how are you? That's exactly right. Rocket Mammo, how are you? All right. So here's another phenomenon. When you calmly present facts against someone or something a person strongly believes, when you calmly present the facts to a person who has a strong belief, they don't always become more rational. So just because we're talking calm, don't make them, make them rational. Sometimes they become more defensive because the evidence that you present threatens a belief that they're emotionally invested in.
Wow. Wow. Repeat that again.
All
Wow.
right. Listen, when you calmly present facts against something a person strongly believes in, they don't always become more rational. Sometimes they become more defensive because the evidence that you're presenting threatens a belief that they are emotionally invested in. That's why you can have two very different conversations about exactly the same thing. One person can say, I disagree. Tell me why you see it that way. Another one can say, that's ridiculous. You don't know what you're talking about. Those are the two sides of the spectrum. The first person is protecting the conversation. The second person is protecting themselves. Woo, that's heavy. That is real heavy. So how to deal with someone like that don't immediately match their emotional
That's
intelligence.
heavy. That's deep. You know what I mean? And we need to do another live on how to deal with those type of people. We need to do part two of this. Yeah, because this is wow. It's wild.
Yeah, we gonna close out now. There's a lot that I didn't get to, and I knew it was gonna be this way because I knew it was emotionally charged, and I knew Miss O'Neill was gonna beat me and you up, and we ain't trying to do nothing but help.
Man, y'all better quit. Stop it, I say.
Yeah. So I'll go ahead and let y'all have it before I close out. If you got anything
Ain't
else, you
nobody got
have.
nothing to say. You said what I said when I was saying what I said. We good.
Okay. All right. So in conclusion, y'all hear me out. Emotions are a natural part of human thinking. But we have problems when emotions begin to control how we interpret the facts. That's when we have difficulty. When we allow our emotions to control how we interpret mere facts, our disagreements, and other people's intentions. Emotional hang-ups such as pride, insecurity, fear, resentment, past experiences can cause someone to hear an attack when one was never intended. Now, ultimately, we cannot have a rational conversation with someone who is determined to make every disagreement emotional or personal. Woo! Lord have mercy. We cannot have a rational conversation with someone who is determined to make every disagreement emotional or personal. Sometimes the wisest thing isn't to win the argument, but to recognize when productive communication is no longer possible and respectfully walk away.
That's just what I said.
Well, we're going to end on this. You know what the hardest thing is?
What's that, boss?
When that conflict happens and you're trying to help the other person, or you're actually helping them or working with them, when you have to walk away, that means the situation may go belly up because you can't communicate with them. So you have to have the peace to say, once I walk away from this, I'm cool that it's going to go belly up because I can't be unified with this person.
And not only that, when you walk away, remember, our whole goal is to keep our peace. So when we walk away, we don't have any resentment. We don't have any animosity. We walk away because it better serves us as an individual. So I'm not even worried. DeJoya can tell you this. I can get into situations. You can too, Keith. Where deals go bad, people act crazy, all these different things. I ain't mad at you. I still got love for you. But we can't do this anymore. We can drink a beer together, but we can't do this anymore because I'm one of them people. When you show me who you are, I'm going to believe you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't. Once you make that mistake, it's over. Yeah.
So sometimes the wisest thing isn't to win the argument. I've seen so many people, they sit there and argue and, no, man, you don't know what you're talking about here. You got the facts right here. I'm showing it to you right now. No, man, listen, all that ain't necessary. Walk away from that situation. You've got to recognize when productive communication is no longer possible in that scenario. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you when I realize that a productive conversation and communication is not possible. So I respectfully walk away.
Amen.
All right. Y'all thank you, man. We have so many people in here tonight, man. Hey, look, we love y'all. Y'all share, like, and the heart, and do all of those things. If you enjoy what we're doing, we want to see you again next Wednesday. Same time, same place on We Talk. So we enjoyed having you. We love all of you, and we truly mean that.
We love y'all for sure.
We love y'all for sure. So take care of yourself. Auf Wiedersehen, au revoir, au revoir. Goodbye, and we'll see you all next Wednesday. Take care.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.